Oh, yes.
That'll do.
Bit of wind.
Right.
The Gerry Anderson Podcast with Jamie Anderson, Richard James, and Chris Dale.
'Twas the week before Christmas, and all through the podcast, not a creature was stirring. Not even
the Randomiser
mask.
No. I know it didn't rhyme, but mine made more sense.
It did make more sense. Should have thought it through, shouldn't I?
Yes, welcome to a pre-Christmas, pre-festive, semi-festive,
yes.
semi-hemi-demi
All right.
festive.
Well, it's the week
Gerry
before
Anderson
Christmas.
podcast.
I think that's what you're trying to say.
Yes.
Yeah, isn't it? And here we are. It's the 18th of December. It's pod 288, I think. Wow.
12 away from 300. Is that right, maths? Did I do maths?
It is good maths, yes. So we have actually a suggestion or two coming up, either this week or in the next few weeks, about what we should do in our 300th edition.
Okay.
So keep your ears peeled for that.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
This is
should
going
we
well.
introduce ourselves
Yes.
or something?
Yes.
Go on then.
Well, over there
Oh, right, yes.
is Chris Dale. Hi, Chris.
There he is, sitting on the Randomiser sofa.
So Chris is the Randomiser.
Yes.
And every week he joins us here on the Gerry Anderson podcast to watch and comment on and whine prolifically about various Gerry Anderson episodes from random Gerry Anderson shows.
I would go further. I would say it's basically Chris Dale's podcast. We just present it.
Absolutely.
And
We're
that's true,
the
isn't
sort of warm-up act, if you will.
Very much so. And you are?
Oh, yes, I'm Jamie Anderson.
Yes.
Son of Gerry Anderson.
Yes.
And, general kind of egg with a face drawn on it.
Right. I'm Richard James. When I was at school, I was accused of hiding behind the mask of an idiot by my English teacher.
Gosh.
To which I responded, it's not a mask.
Hey,
I
I was
really
going to
am an
say.
idiot.
But then you became the masked idiot
I did.
in 1994.
Isn't that funny? Rather prescient of him.
And never changed.
This is the almost festive edition of the Gerry Anderson podcast. Look, even Captain Scarlet's getting into the swing of things.
He looks lovely.
Doesn't he? Yeah. Should we say a few words about what's coming up or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's unwrap the multiple Christmas gifts that are the Gerry Anderson podcast.
Wonderful. Okay, well, first of all, I'll start with the slightly overripe Satsuma, which I'm peeling, which is Fab Facts, of course. But then we come to the stocking of Gerry Anderson News, which has been away for a few weeks, and we'll explain why shortly.
Will we?
And we'll also be hearing from the immaculately wrapped Podsterons who've been emailing us at podcast@gerryanderson.com.
Yes.
I think we might also be visiting Facebook or YouTube, can't remember which, to see what's been going on there.
Okay. It's exciting that it's so random.
I tell you what, though, it's really exciting. Well, because it's the week before Christmas.
Yes.
It could only mean one thing.
You've got me a gift?
Oh, no. But I was going to mention that Terry Adlam is joining us.
For a Terry Christmas.
That's right. Now, normally he's with us throughout the whole of our festive podcast, but, he's a busy man. He's joining us in our sort of interview slot, I suppose, to make merry and regale us with puns and jokes of a Gerry Anderson hue.
Oh,
Did you ever meet him, Gerry Anderson Hugh? Lovely bloke. Big Gerry Anderson fan.
Yeah, well, it makes sense. Changed his name by deed poll. Very odd.
So, yeah, all that coming up on the Gerry Anderson podcast. Aren't you lucky? Aren't you?
Who are you talking to?
Oh, the Podsterons at home. They get this every week, you know.
Yes, lucky you.
If they want it.
Well, they're getting it whether they like it or not. Much like you with Fab Facts.
Oh, whether I like it or not.
Yes.
Go on.
Prepare to receive
Yeah.
a pre-festive Fab Fact.
I'm ready.
Here we go.
Now, time for this week's Fab Facts.
Yes.
So Fab Facts,
Yeah.
obviously it's random,
Oh, right.
so it's unlikely to be festive. But wouldn't that be weird if it was? No, it won't be.
Yeah.
So Fab Facts all come from this beautiful book of Fab Facts.
Look, the Gerry Anderson podcast, Fab Facts. book of Fab
Don't you
Facts.
want one? Well, you can't have one because there is only one and it's in my control. But
That's
each
true.
week I flick through the book, you shout Fab at a random point.
Okay.
Which randomly stops me. So
Okay.
much of this podcast is random.
Yeah.
It randomly stops me on a random page and I
Right.
will read out a Fab Fact from that page.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'm up for that, sure.
Are you ready to shout
Absolutely.
Fab? Do you want to shout something else because it's pre-Christmas or do you want to stick with Fab?
You put me on the spot now.
No, Fab's fine. We'll do something else for the Christmas
Next week. That's
episode.
a good
next
idea.
week.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Off you go.
Here we go.
Fab!
Oh,
Hey?
there's a bit of a chunky passing there at the end.
Was there?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't mind that.
But it's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Oh, goody. Richard James.
Yeah, hello.
I think you've probably regaled us with many tales over the years about your time working on Space Precinct, haven't you? Do you want to put a number on it?
I've got many left, I'll tell you that.
Goodness me. Well,
how long have you got?
I mean, no, that's not for now.
Oh, did I tell you about the...
No, because you've already told us what it was like working on the Station House set and about sitting in the famous Space Precinct police cruiser.
Well, don't say it like that.
Sorry, but how come you've never mentioned what it was like to ride on the equally famous Space Precinct police bike?
Oh, right. There's a very good reason for that, but carry on.
Okay, well, perhaps that reason is because it never existed.
Exactly.
Or did it?
No, it didn't, no. Or did it?
Or did it? Or maybe.
Go on.
When Vivid Imaginations launched their Space Precinct toy line for Christmas 1995, the range included an impressive lineup of 12 action figures and a police cruiser toy to scale with the figures. It was very cool that you pop your Orin in a cruiser.
Absolutely right, yes. Who wouldn't want to do that?
And very nice it was to play with on Christmas morning. I did. Especially if you got the one from Woolworths that came pre-packaged with a bonus
Officer Orin toy
figure.
I know, yeah.
Obviously, they overran that production line, couldn't get rid of them. However, if you look at the other action figure lines of that era, let's say, for example, Star Wars, the lesser known of the sci-fi
Were
franchises.
There Star Wars figures?
Never heard of them. You'll often find the range has a big deluxe vehicle that every kid wants, such as the Millennium Falcon or Luke Skywalker's X-Wing.
Oh, yeah.
Sold alongside a much smaller and less exciting one, say Luke's Land Speeder, that crucially is cheaper than the first, so that fans on a budget could also afford a vehicle for their figures.
A good idea.
Yeah, but Space Precinct didn't really have another regular vehicle that could hit that lower price point, unless you count the Hopper. But who wants a toy Hopper? Because, well, it's not much smaller than the Cruiser anyway, and it was a bit ugly.
Oh, you see, I liked the Hopper.
Well,
why did you say that?
You're in the minority. So bearing that in mind, Vivid took a look at other vehicles seen in the series and came up with the idea of making a toy based on the pizza delivery bike.
That's right.
Seen in the episode Double Duty, famously being driven by...
Idris Elba.
Idris Elba, absolutely. Now, rather than make a pizza delivery bike toy with the accompanying Idris Elba action figure, no doubt, although that would have been very collectible today, I should think.
Yes, wouldn't it?
This toy would instead be rebranded as a DCPD police bike toy, capable of holding a single figure and firing the all-important spring-loaded missile from the front. And Vivid got approval from the Space Precinct team to create the toy of this non-existent DCPD bike.
Could I just say, I do like the sound of a spring-loaded pizza.
I thought so too, that's why. It's very creative,
absolutely.
Very fun. However, eagle-eyed viewers of Space Precinct will have spotted that the DCPD police bike actually does turn up in a couple of later episodes.
What?
As there's one parked in the cruiser bay in the episodes Takeover and Friends.
Parked, right, okay.
Parked, resting. You never see it in action, but it is there nonetheless. Now, whether that's the modified version of the toy or the original pizza delivery bike reworked as a nod to the toy, we may never know.
No, we won't.
But there we have what must be a fairly unusual instance of a company making a toy line for a TV series deciding to create a vehicle that doesn't actually appear in the series, only for people making the series to then actually say, yes, we'll stick that vehicle into the series in order to justify the toy.
Yes, that's true. I hadn't thought of that.
That's the tail wagging the dog, isn't it?
It really is, yes. I didn't know it actually made an appearance in the show.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
So, Podsterons, can you think of any other examples where the toy has driven something in the show itself? I mean, I can't.
No.
But you probably can. So we'd love to hear from you. Podcast@gerryanderson.com if you have any suggestions. Or even any made-up ones.
Oh, really?
A toy from a show that never existed that actually then would also have been quite cool if it appeared in the show.
What, like Star Cruiser?
Like Star Cruiser, yes.
There's an example.
Yeah. No, I was more thinking, like some kind of crazy Mr. On mothership, which never appeared in classic or new Captain Scarlet, but would have been a great toy. And then they go, God, that should appear in the series.
That's right. I see what you mean.
You know what I mean? That sort of thing.
Gotcha.
You with me now?
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah. You see, I'm one of the very few lucky people in the world to have had an action figure made of them.
Yes.
Aren't I? Even though you can't really tell it's
I wonder what percentage of all human beings ever to have lived have had an action figure made of them.
Vanishingly small.
And what percentage of those have had an action figure made of them where you can't actually tell it's them?
And what percentage of those people actually have an action figure version of themselves with their character's head and another character entirely's body?
Gosh.
As I have at home.
I think you might be the only person
Amazing.
to ever have lived
Well,
to experience
that's why I really liked that Fab Fact.
Amazing. Well, there you go. You heard it here, Podsterons. Richard liked the Fab Fact. Amazing. So that brings us very nicely and happily to the end of this week's Bike Fact.
Very nice. I enjoyed that one very much because it was about me, in a sense.
Was it?
Well, it's certainly about something I was in, and that's always good, isn't it?
I mean, you're in the podcast, and that's what we do every time there's a podcast, and that's you in it. So
yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it? Anyway, I'll tell you what else is in the podcast.
What?
Our wonderful Podsterons.
Good.
Because they love getting in touch and emailing us at podcast@gerryanderson.com.
Yeah.
We'll be coming to those shortly, but in the meantime,
yes.
Jamie.
What?
Well, there's been a bit of a kerfuffle online about a missing item from the Gerry Anderson podcast over the last few weeks.
Is it the bit where you say how much you like a member of the podcast?
No, it's not that, no. It's the Gerry Anderson Newsy News.
Ah, the Newsy News, yes.
So it was becoming increasingly difficult to slot that in, wasn't it, those little pre-records that we did, because Jamie's a very busy person and I'm a very busy person.
Yes.
And just couldn't make it work. So we thought what we'd do was maybe have a little news digest every fourth podcast. We record them in blocks of 4.
Yeah.
So we'll have a little chat about what's been and gone, what's
Exactly.
still current, and what's coming up. But we're still calling it the Gerry Anderson News.
Now, do you know what's a bit awkward?
What?
So this is the Gerry Anderson News.
It is.
I should look down the barrel for this.
Oh, yeah,
But
great.
I left my glasses
You haven't got your specs.
in the car.
I mean, I've got mine in my coat pocket, but I don't think they would be much good for you.
No, let's not do that.
Okay, go on then. So this is the monthly news digest of the Gerry Anderson News, because some people have been saying, what's happened to the news? Does that mean that there's nothing happening in the Gerry Anderson universe?
No, quite the opposite.
Far from it.
As usual, many things that we can't talk about, but lots of things that we can.
Nice.
I mean, bearing in mind that, in fact, you've got one in front of you here. It's not actually the eagle. In fact, that one is slightly damaged, so perhaps we shouldn't be looking at it and showing it off. But the eagles have landed.
Yes.
If you ordered an eagle, or both eagles, of our new collectibles range, it might be with you already.
Nice.
Certainly be winging its way, or flying its way, or eagling its way to you now. And just as a reminder, these are the beginning of a brand new line of collectibles from Anderson Entertainment that we're actually doing ourselves for you, Podsterons and beyond.
Amazing.
And the Thunderbird 2 is coming next year. So I'm very excited about that. In fact, the prototype Thunderbird 2, if you're watching the video version of this podcast, is right here, and it's such a beauty. Oh, it's lovely. I can't wait to have it at my desk.
Yes.
So,
I mean, you could just take that one, couldn't you?
well, it's not the finished version.
I see.
It's a prototype.
Fair enough.
It's not got the finished paintwork on it.
Oh,
and it hasn't
okay.
got this. It'll be even better.
Good.
But they're beautiful things, and I've wanted a Thunderbird 2 on my desk for years, and now we've got it. I basically made it, just for me.
Right, fair enough. I guess
Selfish.
that's within your power to do, I suppose.
Now, if the author of a book called The Secrets of the Secret Service is in the room with us, perhaps he could let himself be known by perhaps saying, "Hi, guys."
Hi, guys.
right.
It's a book by Chris Dale.
I
How
see.
funny.
Yeah.
Secrets of the Secret Service is out. Now, this is a start of a new line, I hope, I would like to think, of accessible making of bookazines.
Oh, lovely.
So, if some people don't want the big, chunky vault books, which Marcus Hurd and Chris Bentley do, and they are lovely
Beautiful.
things. And they also sell out very fast. So we're trying to make some more kind of evergreen, accessible things. So if you want to get into the Secret Service and want to know all about it and see the comic strips and read some interviews and just learn how the series came to be, then the Secret of the Secret Service,
Yes, I like
that's a
it.
bit of a mouthful, isn't it, is out. But what Secrets book would you like next, Podsterons?
Secrets of the podcast.
It's a very short book.
No secrets here.
They make it all up. Heavy editing.
that's it.
That's it. Yeah, well, maybe the Secrets of Stingray for 2024, bearing in mind it's Stingray's 60th anniversary.
Right.
And on that note, I think probably is worth saying that you really should stand by for action in 2024, but also that you should stand by for action too in 2024. Couple of hints there, but I shall say no more. And for those of you who are Terrahawks fans, the Terrahawks comic anthology, the making of book, Flaming Thunderbolts, and also the Deep Blue Z graphic novel, should also be winging their way to you right now and are finally in stock after a little bit of a printing delay due to a broken machine.
Oh, damn it.
I know.
Hate it when that happens.
Yes. So all those things have been happening, and so much happening early in the new year. We've got the Into Infinity Blu-ray special edition coming up.
Great.
With brand new making of documentary with new interviews with Brian Blessed, Nick Tate, and Kate Levy.
Well, nice.
Isn't it amazing?
Yes, good.
So, yes, that and many more things. We're keeping physical media going. We've got more audio stuff, more books, more collectibles, more events, and all sorts of other good Anderson goodness.
Nice.
There you go.
Love it.
How's that for a Gerry Anderson News Digest?
I think that works very nicely. So the next one will be in January, I guess. Christmas will be out the way. We'll be looking to the new year, and you might be able to tell us about a few more things that are coming up early in 2024.
Will be. But I think to herald a new News Digest segment,
yes,
it's probably something that you should sing us out on. So that brings us to the end of this week's Gerry Anderson News.
That was the news. That was the news.
Be still my beating heart.
Now, why don't we both sing it? We could have both sung it then, as it was a special, return of the news section.
Nah.
Oh,
that's all right.
Okay. All right.
You're the voice of the news song.
Am I?
And I'm the voice of the news.
So we've heard from the voice of the news.
Yes.
Do you want to know what's next?
Is it the voice of the Podsterons?
I mean, the temperature has dropped a bit, hasn't it?
Yes, thank goodness we're wearing jumpers.
This is the voice of the Podsterons.
Yeah, talking of jumpers, I don't know why you're not wearing your Jerry Anderson Christmas jumper.
It's the week before Christmas. I know you're the sort of person who puts up Christmas decorations in November, aren't you?
Yes, I am. They're up already. They're up 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, no.
Now, look, I'm just picking up my phone, as you probably noticed, because I have an email here. This is from Jeff Owen. Do you remember Jeff was in terrible trouble a few weeks ago?
I remember
Jeff. Because he admitted to unsubscribing from the Gerry Anderson podcast.
Ah, yes.
And regretted it immediately.
Yes.
And so resubscribed. And his penance was to send us an email every week. Hi, Jamie, Richard, and Chris. I got started on Pod 282 last night and heard your request for me to email you every week for a month. So as requested, here I am. Yes, I apologise for unsubscribing, but my plan was to watch the YouTube videos instead of trying out new audio podcasts. I neglected to mention the YouTube thing in my original Facebook post. Well, a couple of weeks have passed, and I realised I hadn't watched you on YouTube, and that's when I realised I was missing the japes of Richard Japes James and Jamie JP Anderson.
Oh, gosh.
Ring any bells?
Richard Japes and JP Anderson, I'd be happy with.
I do fully understand what you said about subscribing and unsubscribing, particularly as I now host my own monthly retro gaming podcast called 8-Bit Back Issues.
I've unsubscribed.
And have been the co-host of both Beyond Farpoint and Make It So, a Star Trek Legacy podcast. It's getting them all in here.
All right, Jeff.
Over the last 2 years, so I hope my resubscription has helped the figures out again. Maybe?
I mean, it's reset things.
Yeah,
It hasn't helped.
Okay. So, as you might have guessed, I'm still 6 episodes behind. And that's why I was only able to get round to listening to the first half of Pod 282 last night when heading in to do my night shift. Part 2, the randomiser, will keep me entertained on my drive home in a couple of hours. Don't tell my boss I'm sending personal emails during work time.
It's fine. I don't think his in fact, his boss unsubscribed some weeks ago.
No.
So.
Gosh. However, I also have a question for you all. Are there any plans to release a Gerry Anderson encyclopedia along the lines of the Star Trek encyclopedias that were published in the past? I know that there are several Anderson-related wikis out there, but they're nowhere near as comprehensive as the likes of the Star Trek wiki, Memory Alpha, or the Doctor Who wiki, TARDIS. I have in my mind a comprehensive A to Z of everything that's ever appeared on screen. Audio or paper, with subsections for things like craft, planets, and species. I realise this would take a huge amount of research, but I imagine a hardback version of the finished work would be incredibly popular among fans of all things Anderson. Anyway, thanks again for welcoming me back. I mean, I don't think we have welcomed him back, have we?
No,
Let's see how we go.
You're still on sort of trial, I suppose.
And I promise, says Jeff, Scout's honour, that I won't unsubscribe again ever. I will do my best to email again next week. Look forward to that. But Jeff, of course, we record these monthly, so your next week's email will be in next month's podcast. And for the next 2 podcasts after that as well, hopefully.
How complex.
There we are. So, yes, what about that? A Gerry Anderson encyclopedia?
Well, I think it's a lovely idea, and perhaps we should get Chris Dale to work on that.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, Chris, if you're up for it, perhaps you could say hi, guys,
right.
to let us know.
Oh, no, he's not.
Oh.
No. Oh, well. Find someone else then. Okay, good.
Ross will do it.
Yeah, Ross will do it. Yeah, currently residing at number 7 in my favourite Anderson.
7. Gosh.
Yeah.
Ouch. Slip right down. I've got one.
Yes.
From Joe.
Okay.
Do you want me to read it?
Yes, please. Well,
Hi, Jamie, Richard, and Chris. I've just finished watching last week's pod with Craig Morris.
Oh, yeah.
Converted from clammy ears to tired eyes, meaning now a watcher on YouTube.
Excellent.
Craig Morris was a fantastic guest. He was indeed.
He was great.
It's great to hear Anderson will always have a home on ITVX. Question to Jamie, do you know if Craig's interviews with your dad still exist? And if they do, can they be played on the pod? I'm not sure how you would do it in the new visual format. Well, we could just sit and listen to it.
Yeah.
But it would be great to listen to these kind regards from Joe Etheridge.
Okay.
I haven't asked.
Fair enough.
But I'm going to now, live during this recording, text Craig Morris.
Excellent.
And see if his classic interviews exist. And either that'll be a thrilling response, or no response at all, or a no, which will be a bit flatter. But I'm letting you know we're doing it live anyway.
Yeah, okay. Okay, great. You've reminded me, of course, Peter Lippman, I think, commented beneath the video for Craig Morris's interview, saying that he deserves a knighthood for bringing Gerry Anderson to ITVX.
A knighthood?
I think that's fair enough.
Sir Craig Morris of White City.
Excellent. Now, while you're doing that, here's one from Steve, who says, hi guys, or rather, hi guys, in the style of Chris Dale, complete with jazz hands.
Nice.
I've just been reading a book about Blue Peter Makes, a popular TV show in the UK forever, and an unfamiliar name cropped up. That's Margaret Parnell. She was responsible for creating over 700 Blue Peter Makes, including the legendary Christmas Crown, as well as Tracy Island. Apparently, when she had her hip replaced a few years back, the surgeon who performed the operation had been creating her makes over the years. Finding that he was good with his hands, he was inspired to become a surgeon. That's great, isn't it?
Wow.
Anyway, says Steve, she must be about 91, but maybe an interview or soundbite. Thanks for your hard work, Steve. Okay, Margaret Parnell.
Right.
Fine. One for the list, I'll
see. I don't have her number in my phone. I can't text her.
Can't text her live.
No.
Okay, fair enough.
We'll try for next time.
Yeah.
If you know Margaret Parnell, perhaps she's your great aunt, Margaret, or something, do email us podcast@gerryanderson.com and perhaps we can get a little soundbite.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
great.
Yeah.
Well, that's a nice little mailbag, isn't it?
Yes, isn't it? All for now, but do keep them coming in, podcast@gerryanderson.com, because we love reading out your emails. Sometimes we read them out twice, and I have to edit them out because we realise that we've already read them out last time.
That's how good they are.
Yeah. Yeah, keep them coming in. Now, so we've done the news.
Yes.
For the first time in 4 weeks. We've done Fab Facts. We've heard from our wonderful podsterons.
Yeah.
That can only mean one thing.
Uh-oh.
What?
Does that mean we're heading for
Ready?
a very
Adlam apocalypse.
Terry Christmas?
Yeah, oh, sure. Yeah, and that, yes. Shall we invite him in?
Oh, go on then.
Hooray, here we go. This week's guest needs no introduction. Christmas just wouldn't be Christmas without him. And this year we have a double dose of Yuletide mirth. Plus, stories from his own experiences in the worlds of Gerry Anderson. As much as it pains me to say it, it's everyone's favourite podcast guest, Terry Adlam! A firm favourite among the podcasts was here last week.
Oh, right.
But luckily, we've got Terry Adlam this week.
Thank goodness. Terry Christmas, everyone.
Has
Terry
it Christmas again?
I know.
It
Now,
just flies past.
have you done every single one of our Christmas podcasts? Do you remember?
I was talking to my therapist during the week, and I have.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's...
From my garage or from my
the garage,
spare room?
room.
That's it.
Yeah,
there we are.
yeah.
And here he is again. He can't keep away.
We can't keep him away.
I love it. I love it.
Also, I don't know if you've noticed, he's got his own microphone.
He has. Well, we're sharing.
Oh, that's nice.
What have you done to deserve that?
Hey?
What?
What?
Nothing.
No.
Anyway, so Terry Adlam, of course, we know you as being Punmeister General, but many other strings to your bow.
Yes, I play the violin.
You can play the violin. First of all, before you go any further, tell us a little about for those of us who don't know, your Anderson credentials.
Oh, my Anderson credentials.
Yes.
I started off with Gerry in 1982 on Terrahawks.
Yep.
Started off in the art department as a set builder.
Now, I'll stop you there. So what would we recognise, those of us who watch Terrahawks avidly, what would we recognise as being your work if we were to
Terry's
watch certain...
fair hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, inside of Zelda's interior.
Yeah, pardon.
So rephrase that.
Come on, let's keep it family oriented.
Inside Zelda's ship. That was a real jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah.
The White House, all the sets that you see. But I was also heavily involved in the Zeroids. And as I think I've mentioned it before, I think my fingers have been seen on Terrahawks more than some of the actors, because what we used to do is to get to the Zeroids to I'm going to break this sort of mystery now.
Yes.
To get the Zeroids to bounce off their perch and roll along the floor, we used to film it in reverse, and it used to be like a ball.
Clever.
So I was underneath the pit with my hand up the pedestal, flicking it.
Doink.
And a couple of times, he jumps out, and there's my.
Yay.
Lucky I did it with 2 fingers, and my 2 fingers there bounce out. So
Did you write? You should have written your name on your
Hello,
fingers
Mum.
at least. That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Or your agent's number or something like that. That's what I did.
So I did that for quite a while, and then there was some changes going on in the special effects department down the road, and I got to know the wonderful Steve Begg, fiver in the post. And they were changing.
I think he'd want more than a fiver.
Yeah, and they were looking to do some change around, and I think it's been known that we did a lot of chatting in the bar over at Bray in those days. And I told Steve that I'd been lucky enough to be a special effects trainee on films like Raiders and Return of the Jedi. And he spoke to Gerry and said maybe we could get Terry to come along and join the special effects department, the model department, which I did, and had a absolutely fantastic time working with Steve and all the crew. And then there was more changes, and then Gerry, being Gerry, always gives sort of help to youngsters, especially in those days. And cut a long story short, I ended up doing the pyrotechnics on Terrahawks, and Steve's been very complimentary about them, but it was very early days, long before sort of real health and safety and trainees would come in. But I always remember I said to Gerry, is this going to be okay? He said, are you going to blow anything up apart from the models? I said, no. He said, well, you're okay then, aren't you? But we did
safety for you.
Yeah, but we did get it all cleared with the special effects committee. So so I had a great time on Space Police and Terrahawks, and then after that, Gerry was doing commercials. And I was doing storyboards and helping with Gerry, and also had the great honour of, in a couple of commercials, I think it was the Hobnobs and the Lieutenant, being assistant director on it. So that was fabulous, working with Gerry, I used to do the storyboards, and I remember we went one day and all the storyboards were up on the wall, and he'd actually get the storyboard down and hold it next to the camera and says, "Oh no, I want it to look like that." So,
now that was a question I was going to ask, because we often have people, actors who've been in various series, sitting in that very chair for their interviews, and I often want to ask, how hands-on was Gerry? Because my experience of Space Precinct, I suspect, was very different to your experience of
especially with the commercial, very hands-on.
Right.
Very hands-on. And as I say, he was a great mentor to me, because once we got to know each other, in between programs, he taught me how to write scripts, he showed me how to edit, he was always chatting to me, I had a great relationship with him, and learned loads, absolutely loads. Yeah. So we did some commercials, and then he was looking for storyboard artists, and Steve obviously is a fantastic artist, and he recommended me go up. He said, so could you do a bit of drawing? So I went up and showed him my portfolio. I
love this story.
And he's flicking through the portfolio, and there's sort of just pictures and that. Then he comes across these set of pictures, and I remember joining on a wet Sunday afternoon after watching Blade Runner the night before, and I just did this cartoon of this android detective. Didn't think anything more about it. And Gerry's going through, he said, "What's this?" And I thought, I don't know, because I just did the drawing. And on the hoof, I said, "Oh, it's a robot detective in a parallel universe." And he said, "Right." He said, "What's he called?" Dick Spanner, a bit like Mike Hammer sort of thing.
Right.
And he looked at me and he said, "Why haven't you shown me this before?" Wow. I said, "Well, you've never asked."
Yeah.
Good answer.
And he said, "I like this idea." Within 9 months, Dick Spanner was on Channel 4.
Within 9 months?
9 months. Absolutely amazing, the turnaround. The pilot
Now,
was
why
on.
don't you ever do any of that with any of my drawings?
That's a great
my doodles that I send you.
And you send some very rude ones, that's why.
So then I sort of, and then, once again, Gerry said, look, we'll give you a credit as creator.
Yeah.
Wow, a creator of a Gerry Anderson program.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah.
And you can direct it. What?
Yeah.
And it was, I think I've told the stories before, I never say no. And then
That's why
he
it's here.
Again.
Yeah.
And then he said, we'll get Tony Barwick to write it and you can help, with the gags and things like that. Now, I knew of Tony Barwick because I was a big ITC.
Yeah.
And, when I was at school, I used to watch stuff like, The Adventurer, The Baron and Persuaders. And Tony's name would come up.
Yeah.
And obviously I'd known Tony from Terrahawks, but to actually be working with him, it was just... just couldn't believe what was happening.
Now, when all this happened, or just before all this happened, were you actively looking for a way into the business?
No, I'd always wanted to be in the business. Ever since I was at school, I wanted to be George Best, who's a famous football player.
Yes,
and that was my
dream.
dream.
Thankfully you aren't.
Yeah,
Let's
no,
just say
but I was let down by my feet on that one because I just wasn't very good at football. But I always wanted to be in the film business.
Yeah.
And I remember going to see my careers master at school over on the Brookwell. A stone or a large brick throw away from Stirling Road.
Yeah.
And he said, what do you want to do? I said, I want to get in the film business. Because I just cracked back very quickly. My family and I used to go out for drives on a Sunday. And I remember one day my dad said, do you want to go see a volcano? And I thought, volcano in Slough? What are you doing? And he drove me up to Pinewood and past the set for You Only Live Twice, which was the volcano.
Incredible.
It was a shape of a volcano, but it was all scaffolding.
Yeah.
And it was from there I thought, that's something I like to do.
Yeah.
Get into that world of make believe.
Intoxicating,
yeah,
isn't it?
So and I was always drawing, famous film stars, scenes from films. Big James Bond film, I was drawing scenes from that.
Yeah.
And I remember I said to my careers teacher, I said, I'd like to work in the film industry. And he turned around to me and said, people like you from council estates like this and schools like this do not get into the film industry. Have you tried window dressing? So I left him lying there and made me even more determined to sort of, that's what I wanted to do.
Yes.
And my parents, my mum especially, really pushed me. And then in about 1978, 77, Primary Studios had their only ever open day. They've never done it before. They opened it to the public for a weekend. And if anyone knows Pinewood, the car parks were full and there was cars parking up to the Crooked Billet.
Wow.
And they just didn't realise.
Yeah.
But it was all open. There was a few production companies that were opening their studios, so you can go in and talk. And I went to one called Westbury Design and Optical, run by a fantastic guy called Cliff Cully, who was one of the UK's top matte artists. This is all before CGI.
Yeah.
So, if you don't know what a matte is, it's very quickly, if you've got a hill and you want to put a castle on it, you paint it on the glass and either put it in front of the hill or superimpose it on. And Cliff was this fantastic artist. And I went and saw him, told him what I was interested in. I'd managed to get into art college in Maidenhead, doing a 3-year course in architecture, because I was looking to get into the art department, and I thought I enjoy drawing, maybe set design or something like that. Mm-hmm. And Cliff said, come back in your summer holidays, do your first year at college and come back. So I thought, that's don't call us, we call you. So I was breaking up from my first year at college, and my mum said, have you phoned Cliff? And I said, no. I said, that was just, I've heard, you've heard that before. Yeah. So I didn't think anymore. I come home the next day, she said, I phoned Cliff. He wants to see you tomorrow.
Oh,
so
Mum's great.
Yeah. So I went over to Cliff, and he said, do you want to work with me during your summer holidays? Yeah. And, fantastic time. Worked on a film called King Arthur and the Spaceman.
Oh, yeah.
And a bit of Bear Island. Had a great time. Yeah. And then come to the end of the holidays, and Cliff said, right, I've got 2 options for you. And he said, I think you should take the first one, because in those days, to work in the film industry, you had to be in the union, the ACTT. Mm-hmm. And the only way you can get into the union was to be in the film industry. Yeah. So it was a real catch-22. Yeah. And he said, right, I've got 2 options for you. He says, one is to go back to college, get your degree, and then we'll take it from there. Or if you want to stay on with me, I'll help you get your ACC ticket. Mm-hmm. So I can't guarantee work. Mm-hmm. you might be here for 6 weeks, you might be here for 6 months. I really don't know. So I thought about it for 5-6 seconds and said, no, this is all I've ever wanted to do.
Amazing.
So sometimes sort of regret it, I'm not sure, is I rang up the college and said I won't be coming back. Yeah. And that's how I got into the film business. And then worked with Cliff for a time, and then this business about networking, so I got to know people. And then an uncle of mine knew a carpenter who was working at Elstree, just lived across the road, and he said, my nephew's just got in the film industry. He said, send him over, I might have a job for him. And I remember going and seeing with a guy named Roy, he was a carpenter, and he said, I've just started on a film over at Elstree. And I said, what is it? He said, I don't know. He said, I'm a carpenter, I'm not interested in films, that's just my job. Yeah. So I said, I said, I'd like to come and help. He said, you only be sort of trainee, he said, and things like that. I said, fine. And I said, are you sure you don't know what film? He said, it's by some director, it's like a B movie. He said, what's his name? Stuart Suvberg or something. And of course, I've always been in love with film, so I knew what was going on. I used to get all the film magazines. I said, it's not Steven Spielberg, is it? Yeah, sounds like it. And I said, and what's the name of the film? I don't know. He said, I think it's biblical. It's got an ark in it.
Wow.
And that's how I got to work on Raiders Lost Ark.
Wow, that's incredible.
And that it's just been. I worked with a crew led by Kit West, fantastic special effects guy. And I'd say I was just a trainee, just going out getting sandwiches, doing the coffees and things like that, but getting involved on the stage. I think I was on every single set in Raiders apart from the Hawaii and the submarine pen and stuff like that. But
right.
I was even in Tunisia for 2 months, out in the desert in Star Wars.
And how old were you at this point, Terry?
I was about 18.
Oh, amazing.
18,
nice.
19. And I've got a hat. I should have bought. I got a hat at home because you can't do it these days because security's high. And I remember it was getting towards the end of the last days out in Tunisia, and I saw Spielberg sitting over in the corner in his chair reading a script called Boy's Own Story, which became E.T.
Okay.
And I remember this sort of cheeky 18, 19-year-old. I went up to Spielberg. I said, could you sign my hat, please? Oh. And he said, yeah, sure. And he said, what do you want to do when you get older? I said, I want to be a director like you. And he said, well, who knows? One day I might work for you. Never had a phone call from him.
Yeah,
nothing.
Still time, Terry. There's still time. Yeah. He might be watching now.
That's right.
Maybe you want to do a personal plea to that camera.
I'm still here. And then working with that crew, and it was networking, and then I went from there to working on Return of the Jedi. So then all of a sudden I've been working with Steven Spielberg, in a very, very tiny, tiny way, and then the next couple of months I'm working with George Lucas because I did a lot of help on the second unit, and George was directing the second unit. Yeah. So I've not been on many big films, but those,
the ones you have been
those have been brilliant ones. And also Clash of the Titans, the original. So I got to meet Ray Harryhausen, who spoke to his family recently. So I got to chat to him as well. So
how amazing! Well, we've got clips from a couple of those things coming up either this week or next week.
Yeah,
we'll we got some gags for you, Terry, if that's all right.
Oh, right,
I went on over to our Facebook group and I said, well, look, we've got Terry Adlam coming on, so give us your best gags. So they're all in the Space 1999 lunchbox. Okay. So in a little while we'll come to that. But you know the format by now. First of all, we need to suss out your Gerry Anderson knowledge by playing a little game that we call...
I knew this was coming up.
Super Identification.
Right.
Off we go.
No pressure.
Okay.
Lots of pressure.
Right. That's Twiglet.
Oh.
No?
Close.
Oh, right, okay. Let's try again. Barry the Battery Boy. Barry, is that the one?
Nailed it.
Yeah, we'll give you that.
Oh, I love it. Four fellas fall over.
He knows them all.
Yeah. Soup in a basket. Sorry.
Soup in a basket.
Fibre Excel spreadsheet. Stringway.
Yeah.
Oh, Thunderhawks.
Yeah, that's it. He's got them all.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Oh, Ian Indestructible. Oh, Fred 80.
He's doing very well, Terry.
Oh, man, Little Man in a Suitcase. I loved that. That was ITC, wasn't it? Yeah. Oh, UFO. Was it UFO? The Protractors. Always had a good angle in each programme. I really enjoyed that one. Space, £19.99. Terrahawks. Yeah, I got it. Fred Toolbox.
Ring any bells?
Coppers in Space.
Pretty much.
Lavender Soap. Dear.
And the final one.
The Return of Ian Destructible. How did I do?
Wow.
Well done, Terry. Well, I mean, what can I say?
What can you say? What do we score him?
There's at least 2 people giving you a round of applause in this room for that.
Yeah.
What do we score you? I mean, we know he knows them. That was hilarious.
Should you give him an extra bonus point for making a gag out of each one?
How many are there? 18, aren't there? I'm going to give him...
Minus 18.
I'm going to give him 10 out of 10.
Oh, that's very
with a star. How's that?
Okay. I mean, that's an irregular scoring format.
Exactly. Well, they were rather irregular answers, weren't they?
Yeah, okay.
There you go.
10 out of 10 for effort.
There you are.
Oh, look at that.
So hold on to that for now, and we'll stick it on the edge of the table next time, and there you go.
You're looking so proud.
I mean, obviously you knew every single one of those.
I did.
And so did Anderson play a big part in your life previous to your sort of film and TV experience?
Yeah, I think, you was asking about earliest memories.
Yes, which we'll come to, yes.
And I think for me it was Thunderbirds, because I would have been about 5 or 6.
Yeah.
But also knowing of the connection of living so close to... I knew all about Stirling Avenue and stuff like that.
Right.
So I knew that Gerry was close. But it was really, Thunderbirds that really sort of got me interested.
Yeah.
And, and then sort of in and out...
Right.
Sort of
as you grew older and had other interests and so on.
Things like that. I've probably caught up with everything now, especially when the reruns, and also having the honour of being a small part of Gerry's legacy. I've caught up with a lot of sort of Gerry's stuff.
Yeah.
And it was pioneering television. Gerry was a pioneer in everything he did. And so proud to be sort of involved in that.
Now, you're also known, of course, to many of us as a gagster, a punmeister. Written books on the subject, I believe.
I have, yes. I've written a couple.
Are they still available, and how can we find them?
Any good boots out at the bottom of the pile. There's a couple of jokes that... It was written. They were written a long time ago. So there's like jokes about nationalities.
Okay.
But I will say that I did write one about it was Irish jokes, of which 400 Irish jokes.
Oh yes.
But I was commissioned by an Irish company in Dublin who said, "Could you write us some jokes that Irish people will enjoy?
Right.
No religion and no sex."
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
and you said, can't do that.
so ended up writing 400 of them. Then.
I mean, tastes change, and that's just the way it is, and they'll change again, won't they?
Well, this is it. This is...
never stand still.
The thing about... I love talking about Dick Spanner, but I have to explain to people it was made in a very different time. And...
we'll be showing a clip from Dick Spanner a little later on. I struggled to find a clean few minutes.
It's tough.
No, that's not... No, it's not.
But different times.
But now, of course, our wonderful Podsterons have sent in their best gags for their Christmas crackers the week before Christmas.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, take a handful, Terry, and then sort of work your way through them.
Sensible.
There's loads
look at this.
Yeah, there you go.
We're not going home tonight.
And also mark them out of 10 as well.
I will. Okay.
Divisive.
Oh, these seem to be all from the same person.
Oh, yes, a lot of repeat customers there, yes.
Okay, here we go then.
All right.
Richard Goodborn.
Oh, yes.
Captain Scarlet was relieved a tribe of cannibals didn't want to eat him.
Yes.
He became...
Indigestible?
I
didn't even read that one, and I knew it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Richard, it's good.
Another one from Richard. Cloud-based personnel went down with food poisoning. Spectrum is brown.
I'm glad we didn't have that one on Christmas Day after all that food.
Oh, no.
A well-known butter company has decided to make artificial Christmas trees. They're calling, I can't believe it's not wood.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now,
there's been better.
Okay. Butter.
That's
Paul,
pretty...
Paul Hyder from
China.
Yes,
indeed.
Why couldn't Destiny open her presents?
Presents.
The angel was on top of the Christmas tree.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So it makes a sort of sense.
Yeah, yeah,
There's something
yeah.
in there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Did you know that Robbie Williams didn't like Captain Scarlet?
No, right.
No, he
why?
was loving Angels instead.
This is why we ask him again and again. Great.
Okay.
Was that it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I mean, we've got
then
lots more. Do you want to take some
Yeah,
more
let's
now?
take some more.
We can't save them all for next week, can we? Which is Christmas Day, of course.
No, we should probably burn through as many of these as possible.
Yeah, okay, see what we
That's
got
it.
here.
That's it.
Have you got a favourite so far, Terry? No. Okay, let's move on. Good.
Okay.
There's time.
Oh, an oldie but goldie from Roger Morgan. What do you do if you see a spaceman?
Parking it.
Parking it, that's it.
Oh, you see, that's a good one, though, isn't it?
It's certainly one.
Morgan Jeffrey, did you hear about the thief who stole an advent calendar? Got 24 days.
Oh, Morgan.
I tried to buy an advent calendar. You can't get them anywhere
Right,
now.
really?
I think their days are numbered. Lynn McKinnon, what was one of Tracy's brother's secret Santa presents?
Tracy Brothers' Secret Santa presents. No idea.
It was a hoodie.
Oh,
A hoodie.
hoodie.
Must
That's
be good.
good.
Must be good at Tracy Island at Christmas because
Yeah.
Grandma doesn't bake a turkey.
Right.
She bakes an octopus. Then all the boys get a leg each. Paul Hyder again.
Oh, yes.
Where does camping Santa keep his gifts?
Where does Santa keep his gifts?
Camping Santa.
A camping Santa?
A camping Santa.
What? I have no idea.
In his present tense.
Oh,
That's really torturous.
These aren't mine. These aren't mine. They're yours, not mine.
that's amazing.
Paul Hyder, who was the most wintry resident of Moonbase Alpha?
Wintry resident.
Oh, Professor Iceberg.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, it was that bad that I could guess it. So
Very good.
Thanks, Paul.
Very good.
Right. What else we got here? I remember the day, this is Paul again, I remember the day I bumped into a baby cow on Clyde Base and confused everyone. Paul Metcalf.
Oh,
Get it?
because that's Captain
Yeah,
Scarlet's real
yeah,
name.
yeah.
Wow.
Paul
Yes, well done.
Metcalf,
Well
baby
done.
cow on
You've got
Cloud
the
Base.
reference.
What does Lady P say when she's stuck in traffic?
Not sure.
A step on it, Parker? No.
Thunderbirds are slow.
Thunderbirds are slow. It's that,
Okay.
yeah, that's good.
Oh,
You like
that's
that?
okay. I like that one.
Oh.
I got a couple.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I got a couple.
Let's hear
Why did Dr. Russell
Yes.
go to the Christmas fancy dress on Moonbase Alpha
Yes.
as the pilot of Stingray?
The pilot of Stingray.
Oh, please, Terry, put us out of our misery.
She wanted to be in Helena Troy. Helena Troy.
Wow. Okay.
And what did Captain Black say when he got a clamp for Christmas?
What, for Christmas?
A clamp.
What did Captain Black say when he got a clamp for Christmas?
This is the Vice of the Mysterons.
Okay.
Oh, clamp. I was thinking of a car clamp.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
If the
okay.
Christmas quiz night at the World Intelligent Network between different departments,
Yeah.
it surely would be a win-win situation, wouldn't it?
That one I
okay.
understand.
Yeah. And why was
that's
Einstein unhappy when Mary bought him 52 packets of large cards, playing cards?
great. Why was who unhappy?
Einstein.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was just too much to deal with.
Oh, God, all that effort.
Don't laugh. Don't laugh.
Why does Parker's employer always buy him pasta for Christmas?
I don't know.
Because she knows he likes penne.
Oh, please
And what the
stop.
Podsterons? What do you lot eat after your Christmas dinner? Christmas pudding.
Fair enough. I mean, that's what we should. That's what we should title the next episode.
Christmas pudding.
This
Right.
is one for Chris.
One more.
One more for Chris. What did the audience shout at the Terrahawks pantomime?
It's behindstein you.
It's behind Yuri.
Oh, damn it.
Wait, they were both
Close,
good.
close,
When I say
close.
good, bad.
I mean,
Yeah, I got some Fab Facts
That's
as well.
oh, Fab-
Oh,
I got
really?
some Fab Facts.
Oh, really?
I love your
Oh,
Fab Facts.
I'm interested in
Yeah.
some Fab
We
Facts.
got time. I think I've got.
Yeah, no, let's get some
Okay,
Fab
I'm gonna
Facts.
wash
All right,
my-
I'm going to flip. Ready?
Go on, yeah. Fab.
Oh, did you know
good.
that originally Torchy the Battery Boy
Yes.
was going to be a clockwork doll?
I did not know that.
No, I think it's a bit of wind up. And did you know the prototype of Supercar when they made it?
Yeah.
They weren't going to give it rockets.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it didn't take off.
Right. I love this.
And you know,
I can tell you do.
they filmed Stingray,
yeah.
and it was said that they used fizzy orange.
Oh, right.
In the water
Yeah.
to get the effect.
Okay.
I don't know if that's true or just a fantasy. Other fizzy drinks are available. And finally,
Look at Chris's face.
Finally, Robert Fireballs, Robert the Robot.
Oh, yes, famous, yeah.
Yep. Didn't have any brothers.
Right.
We did have a transistor.
I had a transistor.
Oh, wow.
That's very good.
Okay.
Terry.
I'm getting bored now.
Fantastic. I mean, do you get a lot of pleasure out of writing those gags?
Yeah,
Do they come naturally? Do you sort of pluck them out of the air?
Yeah,
or do you have
how
to
on
work
earth
for
do
them?
you come up with these lines?
I sit up late at night.
Yeah.
In this case, last night.
Oh, damn, it's tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah.
And have you always been a bit of a gagster?
Yeah.
It's always been a passion of yours, is it?
It's where other people are good at maths and technical things. I just make up silly gags.
And so like
Someone's got
me
to.
then, I mean, I always find as an actor, if I might speak as an actor,
As an actor, yeah.
I always look for the comedy in a scene or the comedy in a character.
Yeah.
Do you do the same when you're writing or watching something, or do you enjoy comedy?
I
more?
love comedy. You know, my heroes are Morecambe and Wise, Peter Sellers, people like that. I love slapstick and I love comedy. You know, and that's I love writing.
Yeah.
Sorry, what's that? Sorry, just got news in.
Oh, yes.
News in. Father Unwin's car, Gabriel's engine has blown up.
Oh, right,
He
yeah.
was taking a group of vicars out in it. Apparently, it was too many revs.
Oi. Wow.
Hang on.
More news.
Marina has won the mime competition at the Marineville Christmas party.
Oh, yeah.
It's always the quiet ones, isn't it? Okay. Do you want a riddle?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But save some for next week.
Yeah. All right, last one.
Go on, yeah.
What's the difference between the Archbishop of Canterbury and the Commander-in-Chief of Shadow?
It's something. I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
It's
Go
going to be
on.
good. I can tell.
One's a head bishop.
One's an Ed Bishop. Terry, that's teamwork.
Did you like that one?
I quite like that one. I
Last
want
one.
more.
Last one. What's the difference between the singer of the Protectors theme tune and a very small bit of well-baked loaf?
Okay, so the singer of Protector's theme tune, we're talking Tony Christie?
Yes.
And a well-baked loaf.
Yeah.
One is Tony Christie, the other's toast... Go on.
One's a tiny crusty.
Oh, God. I mean, it's just as well we only do this once a year, isn't it?
But we're doing it again next week.
Oh, yeah. I'll get some more for
Why?
next week. Right.
Where do we go from there?
Out the door and come back, I think, maybe.
No, I think it's time to have a look at Terry's favourite Anderson memory.
That's a good idea. Distract him.
His first Anderson memory. We've mentioned it already.
Yeah.
Thunderbirds.
Yeah.
We've mentioned. Now, I could think of no better way to celebrate Thunderbirds, the iconic, pivotal show of Gerry's career, you would say, and also your love for it, by simply watching and listening to the opening titles.
Great show.
And imagining, again, seeing them for the first time as a child and just
Yeah.
how magical that would be. As it's almost Christmas, let's spread a little Christmas cheer and
What a
pretend,
gift.
pretend we're 6 years old again.
Okay.
A long time ago.
Easy for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Right. Here we go.
Oh,
There he is. Look.
it's Twitty. What? Oh, yeah.
And don't they look beautiful?
2, 1.
But can you imagine being a kid and seeing that for the first time? You know, especially if it was your first time seeing it. What was on children's television at the time?
Yeah.
It's just absolutely fabulous. I always remember another lasting memory is when I went to see Thunderbird Go, the first movie. I just loved the bit at the end where the band all playing the Grenadines Guard,
Yeah.
and that's something that stuck in there.
Who's your favourite?
I think because of my connection with Shane, it would have to be
Scott,
Scott,
of course.
definitely.
Yeah.
But even this, I probably watched this for years and years, and didn't realise till I got a bit older that the background goes out of focus. It's just clever stuff.
That's right.
This, yeah.
Hold on to your hats.
Oh, here we go. How many? I think it's about 18 or 17. Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
On and
10,
on.
yeah. And then to actually end up doing that, for Terrahawks, it's like, wow.
You must have had to have pinched yourself several
Oh,
times.
yeah, I can believe,
I mean, it seems to me watching those opening titles again, of course, we've seen them 100 times before. It's the absolute synergy. I know they're just the opening titles, but the colour, the action, the design, the music, the characters.
The music, that the Thunderbird theme is as iconic as the James Bond theme.
Yeah.
More recently, the Indiana Jones theme. Right. You could play that to almost anyone, and they go, "Yeah, Thunderbirds."
Yeah. So you've sort of been intimately involved with probably the biggest franchises around, and the Gerry Anderson podcast.
Yeah,
Nice.
I have been incredibly.
How does that feel, though?
Incredibly. I suffer very much from imposter syndrome. I really do.
Really?
Because in my current job, I do go out and give talks about my career.
Yeah.
And I've got a little PowerPoint and I do it, and I actually sort of finish them thinking, did I really do that, or have I made it up?
Wow.
And I go back and I see old photographs of me, actually doing these things, And as I say, I always, point out, Raiders and Jedi. I was a tiny cog. I was the trainee.
Sure.
I did a lot of running, but I was on set when all those iconic, the snake, the cobra. I was there. I was standing a couple of feet away.
Yeah.
So I've just been incredibly lucky. And as I say, even now, for me, it's quite weird. Is when you get told by someone that you're never going to get in the film industry, then you become passionate and you want to do it. And now with my job with Resource Productions,
which we'll talk about more next time,
company here in Slough,
yeah,
I feel I've come in a big circle because I am now helping people like me who didn't have the opportunities in those days to get into the film business. And you talk about job satisfaction. For me, is if someone it doesn't have to be a young person or someone's got onto a film, or we've helped them onto film.
Yeah,
you know what that feels like, and you just think, and it's like it's weird, sort of 64 now, and it's come all around. I'm probably talking more about Gerry's work now and my career than ever. So it's almost been like a 60-year apprenticeship to be able to come on wonderful shows like this and chat about me.
Yeah.
But
do you still watch them, Terry, when they're on? Raiders, Jedi?
Yeah. I was so eger to see Dial of Destiny,
because you're part of that story.
It's that, and I always tell I think I've told you before the famous story on Raiders. I was sitting in a bar one afternoon because we only worked in the morning, it was too hot, and someone come up and said, buy you a drink. And we sat down and bought me a drink, and we just got chatting. It was Harrison Ford. So I always say that Harrison bought. This was way before. Yes,
brilliant.
Yeah, just way before he was ultra famous.
Incredible.
But I just look back and it is
right.
It's so. I say I'm a very, very lucky person.
Well, before we say goodbye to you this time, in the hopes that you'll join us next week for Christmas Day.
Oh, see what I can do.
See what you can do. Have a look at the diary. Yeah. Let's have a look at a final clip from something that you worked on then that's been mentioned many times already. Okay. This is, I think, the original theatrical trailer for Return of the Jedi.
Oh, wow.
Return to a galaxy far, far away.
Of course, it wasn't called Return when we worked on it. It was called Revenge. And everybody knows that it was changed because George said the Jedis wouldn't go for revenge.
Right.
So I've got a T-shirt, a sweatshirt that actually says Revenge. Yeah.
Continuing Star Wars saga. The battle for freedom.
Fabulous stuff.
Are you hiding behind a tree on Endor, Terry, there?
No, I didn't get on that. I was mainly on the set. My main big part was the fight with the Emperor and Darth Vader.
Oh, nice.
I was putting all the little sparks on Darth Vader's clothes. So when he was doing that, because we didn't have CG there, so we were just letting them off. And I've got a lovely signed photograph from Mark Hamill at home saying, Terry, thanks for all the zaps.
Great.
Yeah,
thanks for all the zaps.
Fabulous.
That's good. Well, thanks for all the zaps and thanks for all the gags, Terry.
Pleasure.
Thanks for joining us.
Mostly the zaps, though.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us the week before Christmas. Now, before we say goodbye, many people, of course, love to get in touch with you. Can they? Are you on your socials?
I'm not really sort of that big on socials, but I think I'm on Facebook, Terry Adlam, and I think my Twitter is @Terry Adlam. Really easy.
Yeah,
but,
and of course you're also a member of the Podsterons official listeners group on Facebook.
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
There you go.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Great. I've got a special joke for Earl Black.
Go on then.
I'll do it at Christmas. Special Christmas present.
Well, we look forward to that.
I for one, cannot wait.
No, and I, for two, can't wait either. Right, so we'll see you next week, Terry.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Okay.
And a Merry Christmas.
Off to this Christmas shopping.
Hooray!
Bye-bye.
It's Terry.
Cheers.
Okay, I mean, Christmas just wouldn't be Christmas without Terry Adlam.
Yeah.
Would it?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Terry.
Adlam.
Dry old turkey.
Dry old turkey.
Yeah. Awkward games of charades.
Oh. Is that what do you think Christmas is like in the Adlam household?
No, there's just the three things that make Christmas Christmas.
Anyway, thanks for Terry for joining us. He'll be back next week because, of course, next week it's Christmas Day. We have a podcast released on Christmas Day.
A very, very Terry Christmas in that case.
So we hope you could join us for that. People have been joining us on our YouTube channel. Pod282 saw us interviewing Nicholas Young from Space 1999 two-parter Bringers of Wonder.
I just about remember it.
Yeah. GMLPC7132 commented, I was very much looking forward to seeing and hearing Nicholas Young here, and he was excellent as expected. He's very witty, but also very informative, insightful, and frank when talking about himself, the shows he worked on, and about acting in general. His commentaries on the Tomorrow People DVDs are superb, and I'm sure he could do a similar job on his Space 1999 episodes if he hasn't already done so. Yeah. Interesting idea.
I don't know.
Thing is, of course, 50 years ago, as he himself professed, he doesn't really remember much about it.
No. Oh, yeah, sort of vague recollection.
Exactly, that's right. Maybe it would prompt him if he actually saw the episode being played live in front of him.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Or can just do what a lot of actors do and just make stuff up.
Just make it up. Yeah. That's what we do. Yeah.
Scofair5551 has also commented on the very same one.
Yeah.
I thought Brains was based on Arthur Askey. Who'd have been great in a live-action version.
Okay, interesting. That's the Fab Fact that we had that
the scientist,
Yeah, Arthur Askey, I can't see that.
No, you can reverse engineer these things as much as you like, but it doesn't make it true.
No, that's right, you're right. Martin, 2021, says there could be a new segment of the show, now here's an idea, where people tell you about the first time they saw a Gerry Anderson production, or how they are introducing a new generation to the world and what the new generation think of them. For example, there's a nice American young woman who's called Alexa Chipman, who is making her way through the worlds of Gerry Anderson. She's already done Space 1999 and UFO, and is currently 6 episodes into classic Captain Scarlet and the Mysterons. And she pointed out that Ronald Moore must have been a fan of a show, as one of the Battlestar Galactica episodes seems to be inspired by this particular episode of Captain Scarlet. He says, you can call that a Fab Fact.
Oh, we will. That's a Fab Fact.
It is, isn't it?
No, we know that Ron Moore is a big fan. Battlestar Galactica, the opening titles were basically cut like Space 1999. And allegedly is a Thunderbirds fan and beyond. So
great.
There you go. It's a true Fab Fact.
Yeah, like it.
Xavier Guerra 100 says, how about a segment called Super Impersonation?
I like the sound of this already.
That's where either Jamie, Richard, or Chris pick a random Gerry Anderson character's name from a box or hat, and the other two have to do their best vocal impression.
Aha!
The person who picked the name judges the best impression, and the winner gets a prize or wins the opportunity to draw the name out next time.
Ooh!
That's quite fun.
That is quite fun. Yeah, we're just talking earlier about ideas, not changing the podcast by any means, but just little extra things we could do.
Elevating it.
Exactly, yes. And that's quite a nice idea, isn't it? Super impersonation.
Oh, that could be embarrassingly bad.
I shall think about that. Xavier. Is it not Javier?
It's an X.
Is it?
Not a J.
No, fair enough.
Xavier?
Could be.
Anyway, Mr. 100.
Yes, thanks very much for that, Mr. 100. And do keep those comments coming, and just visit the YouTube channel and comment beneath any video that you enjoy. Don't comment if you don't enjoy it. That's, I think, the basic rule.
What
isn't
about
it?
the old whiner, you mean?
Yeah, we're not mentioning that.
Are we not?
No, we don't do that.
Okay, fine.
No, we don't. No. So yes, nice comments only, because if they're nice, we read them out.
And if they're not nice, then we allude to them in a slightly dismissive fashion.
That's right, exactly. Talking of alluding to people in a slightly dismissive fashion.
Yeah, do we have to?
It's time for Chris Dale and the Randomiser.
Oh, Mr. Random.
Over to you, Chris.
Go on, Chris.
Well, now, Terry, thank you very much for coming along to see us today.
Pleasure.
And,
can I just say,
yes.
I do love your top.
My top?
It's fantastic. In fact, I've got some original Sooty and Sweep glove puppets.
Oh, very nice.
I want to, I'm not going to sell them, but if anybody wants them, I just want to get them off my hands.
I like it. I see what you did there.
Right,
yeah.
so what's this?
Okay. Well, I'm sure you know what this is. This is the famous Randomiser.
This is it.
Yes,
I've heard so much about it. Yeah.
And now, finally, today, for one day only, you get to press it. Yes. What do you think you might want to see come out of here today?
Obviously, Dick Spanner.
Dick Spanner
would be nice. Or some Terrahawks.
Terrahawks, yes. Both shows you're involved with, of course.
Yeah,
yes,
or
well.
Twiz.
No.
Fine. Yeah, so...
I'd have to stop talking to you in that case.
Yeah, okay.
Well, whenever you're ready, let's press the button and see what you get today.
Let's go for that one.
Oh, now most people would go for that one. You went for that one.
Oh,
does that? Oh well,
no,
no,
I just thought a bit different.
Bit different, yeah.
Christmas.
And it's produced us an episode of
Feather Falls.
Wow. And the episode title is Happy Birthday.
Wow.
Very exciting stuff. Well, I'll get on and watch that then.
Yeah.
Terry,
Enjoy
thank
it.
you very much. Yes.
Thank you.
Come back
See
next
you again.
week.
Yeah.
We'll do this again. It's been fun.
Ooh, you're spoiling me. Thank you.
So, as we approach Christmas,
Happy
the birthday of our Lord and Saviour,
Jack.
Sheriff Tex Tucker, it seems only right that we should have a look at the 4th of Falls episode, Happy Birthday, for it is Tex's birthday that the good folks are celebrating today. They've got a very nice cake ready for him. Now, I believe we've had a lot of early 4th of the Falls recently, and I've said that you can always tell the early ones because the puppets are, by and large, they're not quite there. This is one of the final episodes to be filmed, I believe, and it's often felt like a series finale to me. So it's, you know, obviously you can't compare these puppets to like Thunderbirds and later, but as you know, compared to how the series started, they're far nicer to look at. Anywho.
Got his heart set on riding gauntlets.
Riding gauntlets?
Yeah, Mark.
Okay.
Real gauntlets, like the army wears.
Riding gauntlets. That's what Tex wants for his birthday. Okay.
Thought of that before today.
Yeah.
You'll only get them kind in Silver City.
Well, then we best get along to Silver City mighty quick.
I can't believe Tex's birthday caught us out. It comes the same day every year.
Now, you let him take his time,
So,
Jake boy.
what kind of problem are they going to run into this week?
Yeah, no, Grant.
Could it be bandits?
Gotta get...
Could it be Big Ben and his chums?
Hey, ain't that...
Could it be a large rock that... Oh, there's little Makuya.
Can't rightly see, but looks like he's watering flowers or something.
I can't rightly see. He's all of 2 feet away. Yeah, my glasses, they're just not doing it for me these days.
Me see you at party.
All right. You're assuming you're invited. Of course he's invited. Yeah.
Me call Jake. Him ride with Twink. Big hurry, see?
Kalamakuya, see.
Me.
Have you seen that it's Tex's birthday?
What is wrong?
What's going on here?
Try grow flowers for Tex Tucker's birthday.
Oh, right.
Flowers come.
Your patience shall be rewarded.
Yeah, will it be rewarded by the end of the day, though? Oh, no, he's going to cheat. Of course he's going to cheat, because he's magic. So, the flowers are... There they are. All magically grown.
Goya. They are beautiful. If it wasn't...
If Kalamakuya hadn't come along, how long would Makuya have just stood there?
Mr. Twink and Jake.
Died of exposure in the desert, poor little thing.
Greetings. Why, Makuya.
And here we have another early example of an actor talking to themselves in a scene. This is, of course, Denise Breyer doing both characters, Ma Jones and little Makuya.
Won't Mr. Twink's parlor look just something with these?
Missy, Twink and Jake on Prairie.
You did? Well, they've gone right.
And I have a feeling that, I mean, I'm no 4th of the Falls expert, aside from like when the DVDs first came out. Doing it on the Randomiser is really only the second time that I've seen most of these episodes. But I seem to recall that Makuya and Kalamakuya weren't in all that many episodes. At least they didn't get much focus. And I'm just finding Makuya slightly odd to look at because you're seeing all the hinges and joints which on the bare arms and such, which is a bit... What's he got now? Oh, magic gloves. These would be the gauntlets that he wanted.
Grandson Jake.
Where, Makuya, find them.
Oh yeah, you can actually see the joints working on the arm there. That's quite rare for these puppets, but I suppose there was probably not many other options. Was that a train noise? It sounded like he's making the noise of the train.
It's Makuya! Look!
Okay. That may have been Denise, but that sounded like the sound effect they used for the train.
Well, that's mighty kind of him, ain't it, Jake?
Especially after we've just spent $50 buying them in Silver City. I hope I kept the receipt.
Like? Gee, Makuya, you're sure the greatest friend I ever had.
Bye now.
Right back. Tell grandfather you're happy. See you tonight, Makuya.
Okay, so it was just getting the present for Tex, and now they've got it, and everything should be hunky-dory. I suspect we still have about 5 minutes to fill though, so there's probably going to be some unexpected plot development. Ooh, what's this? This is a vulture or some kind of bird watching them? That's an interesting puppet. I don't recall seeing that before, but he's got his eyes on the gauntlets. He's going to grab them.
Boy.
Okay, we actually have a flying bird puppet, which is quite convincing. Oh, okay. That was quite impressive. I was a bit surprised by that. But yeah, the bird has stolen the gauntlets.
I don't rightly know, son. Maybe on the prairie we only thought we saw Makuya.
Clams!
Or maybe I just didn't fasten the back of the wagon and we didn't tie them to anything. Oh dear. Tex's birthday is ruined. And as much as I say the puppets in this show improved fairly dramatically across the course of the series. Uh-oh. Yeah, the horses never looked any better by the end. I thought Makuya was going to bring down the bird with an arrow there, but luckily his aim is very good.
He thought he'd steal them gauntlets.
He managed to get the gauntlets out of the bird's claws without hurting it. Well done, Makuya.
Hey, Tex is coming.
Oh, star of the show. A bit late for his own birthday party there.
Welcome.
Oh, but this is nice though. All the characters are gathered around this table. I'm not sure whose house this is supposed to be. I guess Twink's. But yeah, everybody's here. Well, all except the villains. Yeah, we've got Twink, Ma Jones, Callum Makuya, who doesn't seem to be talking to anybody. Doc, yeah, Slim Jim, Dan Morse, Dusty and Rocky, of course, helping themselves to cake, and Mr. Jackson.
And for all your gifts.
And of course Tex.
It all Tex, me boy.
Yeah, sure do. That's right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tex, Tugger, fine man. Fine. Sheriff.
Yeah.
Thank you, my friends.
Now, Marvin, guess it's time for you to say your piece.
Boy.
Ah, yes, of course. Mr. Jackson has to make a speech.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor for me, on behalf of us.
I can always place the nationalities or the accents of other characters in this show. They're fairly sort of, you know, typical Western townsfolk.
To cut.
I was never quite sure where Mr. Jackson was supposed to hail from. He's a very fun character anyway.
But of course, before he does so, he must first of all blow out all the candles.
Oh, right, yes. There's quite a few on there.
Go on, Tex. Blow.
Okay.
Oh, no. What a humorous.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. Sorry, yeah, I suspect the use of the word blow is, the way they've used it there is slightly not how people would use it today. Ah, oh. No, Tex needed help to get that, to get those candles blown out. There was an obvious jump cut there. Ah, but his magic guns saved the day and blew out the last two for him. I would assume, therefore, that there are now 2 bullet holes in the wall of whoever lives here, but we won't complain. It's his birthday, after all.
Dear Tex, happy birthday to you.
It got a bit quiet there near the end, almost like something sinister. With...
I hope when your birthday comes round, it'll be as happy as mine was.
Oh, well, thank you for that, Tex. Wasn't expecting you to break the fourth wall there. Again, this is why I think this must be a final episode candidate, at least. Because you have the whole gang together, and it's Tex's birthday, and it's a bit special. You have the group photo as well. And I think this was a photo taken for real. There are some publicity photos on this set. Oh, and Dusty's eyeing the cake.
Together, yes they do.
And if you ever get there, you'll never see a frown. Oh, he's pulling the cake towards him. Yes, this is not good behaviour from our little four-legged friend. Oh, the characters are holding very still for their photo that Tex isn't part of. Oh, Dusty's nearly got the cake. It also highlights there that group photo of all of them that Grandpa Twink seems to be the only one with a blinking mechanism. He's blinking, everyone else is absolutely just rod stiff. Oh, nearly got the cake. Come on, Dusty, this is beneath you, really.
My hometown.
Rocky's watching as the cake sneaks to the edge of the table. Yeah, some of the puppets look a bit sinister here because they're absolutely stiff. And with no blinking, no eye movements going on, they're just... that's it. There goes the cake. Well, presumably Dusty will be in a bit of trouble for that. No birthday cake for anybody. It's a very sour note to end Tex's birthday on. Screenplay by Jill Allgood. Very nice episode there, I thought. Yeah, if that was a final episode for the series, I'd be thoroughly happy to see it go out on that note. Of course, we have a lot more Four Feather Falls to cover. Yeah, nice to have a bit of focus on some of the other supporting characters in the show for a change. Yeah, just nice to see them all together, having a good time. And we're watching it at Christmas. What could be more appropriate? Well, nearly Christmas, next week.
Sweet, isn't it?
It is sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my favourite memories of the year, as we're very often looking back at the year at this time of year.
Yes, was watching Sophie Aldred ride Chris around the room at Brit Sci-Fi. Is that right?
Absolutely. It was fantastic, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yes, the longest episode of Four Feather Falls in history. About 45 minutes,
It did go on a bit. That's right.
Goodness me.
Yeah, that's right. When you were reading all the stage directions and so on, that's what took the time.
And getting them wrong.
Yeah, mostly.
And in fact, making a bit of a Freudian slip, as you will.
Oh,
do you remember?
I do remember.
I crossed the word shot and rang out.
Don't do it again.
And made it into one, and it's got an unintentional giggle, including from me. Anyway,
join us next week for Pod 289 on Christmas Day.
Can't believe it.
Will you be wearing your Christmas jumper then?
I might crack out a rather special Christmas jumper next week.
Excellent.
Something to look forward to.
All right. So enjoy the rest of your week. I hope Santa brings you everything you could possibly wish for from your Gerry Anderson wish list.
Of course.
And we'll see you next week for Christmas Day. Do join us. See you then.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Bye.
This is Christmas Control. Stand by. Let's go.
Spectrum is green.
Is Terrier an absolutely essential part of Christmas? Are we going to have this every single year?
Well, we have done so far, I think. I don't think maybe the first Christmas we didn't have him. No, I'm sure we did.
I feel like we've had him every single time.
Of course we have.
And he's been on Fab Live doing Terry Christmas, hasn't he?
He's been in my garage with me when we used to do it audio only.
Goodness me. Oh, yeah, because you both squeezed up in that little booth, didn't you?
That's right, we did. It was very cosy.
Oh.
A bit too cosy, I think.
Yeah.
But it was Christmas, so I let him off.
At least he's sort of warming, if nothing else.
Warming, that's right. Yeah.
And he feels time. Well, next week, of course, we'll be cracking out the Christmas crackers. Maybe there'll be some jokes in there.
Okay, good.
It might be better than Terry's, or maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not. We'll see.
Find out. But do listen in,
all right,
Podsterons, because it's my 1993 set of Boots Thunderbirds Christmas crackers that we'll be pulling. I wonder if the snaps still work.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that. We'll find out.
We will.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, that. Bye.
Bye. That was an Anderson Entertainment production.